The Draghi Cabinet is the 67th and current cabinet of the Italian Republic, and the first one led by former European Central Bank President Mario Draghi. It has been in office since the 13th of February 2021. The Draghi Cabinet was formed following the resignation of Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte in the midst of a political crisis which led to the Conte cabinet losing its majority. After consultations with political parties, President Sergio Mattarella tasked Draghi with forming a high-profile government. Mattarella stated that the new government would have to tackle the health, economic and social crises related to the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as overseeing the EU relief fund associated with it. The Draghi cabinet was described as a national unity government by numerous news sources. The choice by Mattarella to appoint Draghi as Prime Minister was welcomed by some international observers, with others casting doubt on the stability of a new technocratic government. The Draghi government was formed with both politicians and independent technocrats, and is supported by a large majority of the Italian parliament, including the anti-establishment Five-Star Movement, the centre-left Democratic Party. On the 13th of January 2021, Italia Viva withdrew its support for the Conte cabinet, triggering a political crisis. Conte subsequently won confidence motions in both houses of parliament, with the abstention of IV, but could only reach a plurality in the Senate, rather than an absolute majority. In the wake of this, Conte tendered his resignation to President Mattarella, who then began a round of discussions with various parties to form a new government. Mattarella met with delegations of political parties on 28 and 29 January to determine their views on the formation of a new government. The Five-Star Movement, for the Autonomies, Europeanists, and some members of the mixed group all expressed support for the reappointment of Conte as Prime Minister, but IV ruled this out. The centre-right and right-wing parties, the League, stated that they preferred a snap election, but would be willing to join a national unity government under certain conditions. Following this deadlock, Mattarella asked Roberto Fico, the president of the Chamber of Deputies, to explore the possibility of a grand coalition government. On the 2nd of February, Fico confirmed that there was insufficient support for the proposal. With the prospect of early elections looming, on the 3rd of February Mattarella invited former ECB President Mario Draghi to the Quirinal Palace to charge him to forming a national unity government. Draghi accepted the offer, and began consultations with the leaders of political parties. Conte publicly endorsed him as his successor the following day, and further negotiations commenced. On the 10th of February, League leader Matteo Salvini and FI leader Silvio Berlusconi jointly announced their support for Draghi. Conversely, FDI leader Giorgia Meloni stated that her party would go into opposition. The PD's National Board unanimously voted on the 11th of February to support Draghi. The same day, the M5S held an online referendum on whether to support a technical political government with the other political forces indicated by the appointed Prime Minister Mario Draghi, which was approved by 59.3%, having achieved sufficient support. On the 12th of February Draghi met with President Mattarella at the Quirinal Palace and presented his list of ministers. The Draghi cabinet was sworn in on the following day, the 13th of February, at 11 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time. The cabinet was composed of 24 ministers, 8 women and 16 men, most of them from northern Italy, largely from Lombardy and Veneto. It contained representatives from all supportive political parties, as well as numerous independent technocrats. On the 17th of February 2021, the Senate approved the Draghi cabinet with 262 votes in favor, 40 against and 2 abstentions. The following day, the Chamber of Deputies affirmed its support, with 535 votes in favor, 56 against and 5 abstentions. This was the third largest majority garnered by a cabinet in the history of the Italian Republic. After the Monti cabinet and after the Andreotti IV cabinet, the Council of Ministers is composed of the following members: